I believe that as long as home prices go up and stock prices go up, everybody's applauding because the illusionary wealth increases, including mine and yours and everybody who owns shares and assets like gold and silver and bitcoins and so forth. But once household consumer prices go up, that is the trigger point throughout history where people rebelled and were angry at the government. You know, that food prices went up and so forth, led to unrest in the Roman Empire, in Egypt, in everywhere in the world. And I think that this will lead also in the US to some disturbances, in my opinion. But you have to understand, you have in America a genius as a president. What he will do, he will distribute more money. He will increase the basic incomes and so forth, and he will reduce further the police force, which is proven in the modern monetary theory and modern societal theory, a measure to reduce crime. You eliminate the police force. That is the best way to eliminate crime. Yeah. And you put in judges that for them, there is no crime. Everything is happening because someone has been victimized. I have to say that this is a mystery for me, that gold and silver and platinum as a store of value are not much higher. Because if you told me, Mark, for the next few years, it is unlikely that we will have real rates. I have to say here, there is one situation where you could get real rates up substantially from, say, currently -6% to 3%. And that would be a general collapse in everything. You know, the oil prices collapse, the economies collapse, everything collapses. What would the response by central banks be? Mm-hmm. And then you realize as soon as there is a minor disturbance of asset prices, they all step in, like in August 2019. There wasn't a big problem in August 2019. There wasn't financial crisis, but the Fed stepped into the repo market and they started to print money again. And if the stock market drops 10, 20% here, in my view, tightening will be out of the question. And I have to say, I think that anyone, and that's what I've been saying this for the past 40 years, anyone has to be his own central banker and hold some precious metals physically. And for the more speculative-minded investors, or in addition to holding your core position in physical precious metals, you can hold some stocks, mining stocks that have, of course, a very significant upside potential if the bull market in gold has begun. Mm-hmm. I mean, we had a bull market until about 1.5 years ago, then a correction period. I think the correction period has come to an end, and we are again in a bull market. But the bull market, I have to say, is not as powerful as I would have expected. Yeah, you can see here very well on this chart. We had a correction now since September 2021 down here. And I would say it looks as if it's going to break out on the upside. Yeah. It looks, but who knows?
Yeah. Is there a specific price point for gold that you're watching for in US dollar terms that tells you the bull market's back on?
Well, you have there a triangle, okay? Yeah. We have to breach this peak here.
Yeah. We got to get through here. A lot of people think, it's getting back to the high 1800s, getting above this mark that we've got this clearly defined downtrend. We got to get above this spot right here to really be back on. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah.
But I have to say, in an environment of so much money printing and that I have to add, inexperienced investors, I'm not so sure that technical analysis is of great value anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I look at every stock I ever buy, I look at the chart.
Mm-hmm.
I like stocks that have a long saucer bottom. Here, I suspect that this was a correction period here from the peak down here, that this was an impulsive upward move here.
Right here?
Peak. Yeah, and then here a correction, I suspect.
Mm-hmm.
But it hasn't been confirmed very clearly, in my opinion. And it's interesting what you do with the chart, because by manipulating the chart, it looks totally different. If I had to look at a commodity that is very inexpensive, I would say agricultural commodities are still very cheap, inflation adjusted.
Mm-hmm.
Wheat, corn, soybeans, sugar.
Mm.
And we had a bull market in coffee, but cocoa hasn't gone up a lot. So I think there are peripheral markets that are still attractive. And I have to say, recently someone sent me a highly important report about what clean energy does to the demand of energy. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you want to go and produce all your energy needs with windmills, now just think a little bit clearly. What kind of a society would believe that you can generate enough windmills to power on your energy needs? For that, you need people that are completely illusionaries, like the green/communists. They want green energy, but they don't want uranium, because it doesn't fit into the picture of a clean world, uranium. But say you want a clean world, go uranium. But they want windmills. Windmills will produce energy, but they pollute much more than oil and gas and even coal, because of the construction cost and the maintenance cost of the blades. The blades and the whole building of a mill is very expensive.
Right.
Ditto for solar powers. What is the name of this transportation minister in the US? Buttigieg, the one that is married to another man.
Buttigieg, yeah.
Yeah,
Buttigieg.
because he needed maternity leave when he adopted some children.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to see a society that gives to someone who adopts child, a man, maternity leave.
Yeah.
And he's a minister of transportation when the bottlenecks everywhere and shortages, and he needs maternity leave. But this is the government that democracies create.
Mm-hmm.
Low class, ignorant, and arrogant. When you're a minister, you should accept some responsibility to do the best of what you should be doing. You are responsible for transportation, including ports and trucking and so forth. And what do? You take maternity leave.
That is true.
Was the best joke for me in 2021. I hope it will be exceeded in 2022, because I was always worried when Trump wasn't re-elected that I would have less opportunity to laugh, because basically with Trump, there was always something to laugh. But I have to say, this administration has exceeded anything that I've ever seen in US governments. He says, well, if oil prices go up, don't worry, just change to an electric car. But he doesn't realize or doesn't know or lies maybe the three of them. That, of course, if oil prices go up, if natural gas prices go up, if coal prices go up, the price of electricity also goes up. I think the investment markets are now at a very crucial transition point. If you look at the tech stocks, they're weakening, the meme stocks are weakening, even cryptos are weakening. So the speculative sector, the highly valued sector, is coming down, and value stocks seem to be coming back also in emerging markets. I've observed this all over. So I would be very concerned about indexes. You know, I think they could be weakening, but within the market, there will be lots of stocks that are today perceived as old value stocks that could come back and reward investors. In other words, active management should reward investors.